Hi everybody and welcome back to V's Views and It's an Effin Book Club. So before we get started, please subscribe to my channel and hit the notifications button. I'm here again with Sir Simon and Chelsea to review what we said was February, but we took February and March. We are then in March, right? Yes. To do what was the name of the book again? Oh yes, The Transmigrant by Duarte. I forget her first name. As Karen
Kristi.
K. I forget.
Kristi.
But it was Sir Simon's book, so he
Kristi.
will. Huh? Christine, right? Oh, Kristi.
Yeah.
Christine. Yes.
Kristi.
So Sir Simon did the book and he will give the intro thingy. Whatever we always do, and I forget.
All right.
The
So
introduction.
the reason I saw this book on Scribd a long time ago, and I felt like it's something that I would want to read because of my religious views.
Okay.
Sorry, I said a breeze just blew outside, and I'm like, what's up with this? Right. So, So I'm Christian, right? I believe the Bible, I believe Jesus, I believe God, etc. Right? And for real, I feel like when I was younger, I saw the same thing also, something very similar, talking about the years of Jesus that the Bible doesn't mention. And I'm like, this would be an interesting book to read, and I never got about to reading it. And then I saw this one on Scribd, so I was like, you know what? I have to read this book. I was like, why not read it with other people and see what they think also? So this book, The Transmigrant, The Lost Years of Jesus, is written by Kristi, Saare, Duarte, and essentially the book is asking about what Jesus was doing between the ages of 12 to 30 or however, right? So this lady, Kristi Duarte, she's an author, of course, but she's also I don't know if to say very spiritual, but she's very interested in Christianity or religion, I guess. Right? So she's a channel, she's a healer, she's of course an award-winning author of spiritual novels, The Transmigrant being one, and this other book called The Holy Conspiracy. She's also a certified soul realignment practitioner. Do you know what the hell that is? She's an intuitive healing modality. Which she utilizes the Akashic records to unlock her soul level potential and clear negative karma, right, that are held onto the person's soul level. So I guess that's what the soul realignment practitioner does, using these techniques to, I guess, make your soul be the best soul it could be. Right? True cosmopolitans. A modern day nomad. She grew up in Sweden, then she moved several places, and she's currently living in New York, right? And her website says that she's not religious, right? But she's fascinated by the story of Jesus in India. So she did her research. She developed her expertise on the origins of Christianity by studying the most ancient scrolls and historical scriptures, right? Including Nag Hammadi library, right? The Dead Sea Scrolls and somebody else's Antiques of the Jews, right? So she did her research and got her information in order to write this book, right? She did her appropriate research to get her information to write this book, right? And like I said, it's mostly because of my background, my religious background, why I felt like this book was interesting to read. And so yeah, so Chelsea, what did you, like, without telling us what the book was about, what did you think about the book?
Did she finish the book?
I didn't finish the book. So
I know that.
Seriously, I've been trying, but every day on my way from work, I am sleeping all through, and even on the morning, so I'm sleeping up to work.
How far did you reach?
Good question.
That's something we should not discuss right now.
So you got nowhere.
I didn't get any. I started and it was talking about when God. The part that I was on was when he was a teenager.
Okay.
When he was a teenager.
Okay. Well, I'll fill you in.
That's the part that I stopped on. It was more. It sounded like a novel.
Okay.
It was like for me. It was just I just didn't know how to feel about it. I was just like, interesting. So.
Well, this is Frank. What did you think about it?
Me, I think it was cool. Some things I still have some questions. I wrote it down, but I mean, at first it started dragging on, and then just dragging, and then until it got to the nunnery, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
You reached there, Chelsea. Did you even reach there?
I will finish the book, but it wouldn't be because it was really honestly, it was really hard for me.
I know. I think it was a difficult listen. Also, I think it would have been easier probably to read. I don't know if it was the guy's voice.
No, for me the voice and everything was okay. It was just making the time to do so.
Yeah, it was a difficult listen, but I thought the book was very interesting. And as I said, I was always, when I saw this the first time, I was like, I have to read this to see what people say. So, just a synopsis, or essentially, is Jesus. He was with his mother and his father, and he had brothers and sisters, and he grew up, and then he got a revelation from God, right? That he's like he needs to do God's work or something like that. And he got that when he was young, and he wasn't sure if it really was from God or if it was, him just being crazy. His brothers used to laugh at him, saying, "Oh, he's so serious about the temple or the synagogue or wherever they used to be going." And he eventually left the house and went with some boy to follow Buddha, and then went somewhere else to talk about other gods all over the place. And essentially, he came back and then they killed him. Right? Do you feel like there was anything? Did you have you ever thought about that time in Jesus's life before? Like what happened between?
I think for 1 second, yeah, and that was maybe something I always had in my mind, and I was like, oh, maybe that's just the mystery of history, like, oh, these things were lost, like that's just what happened, So these 12 years, but they have, and really, if you really check it, they really have like 4 years of his life in the Bible, like the first year of the 12, and then 30 to 33, because I think he spent 3 years doing his ministry. From what, I understand. But I always wondered that, I guess, something's in the back of my mind. And then when I was like, oh, because I know you said about Jesus, the book was about the lost years of Jesus. I was like, okay. And I was like, that makes sense that he jumping from religion to religion, that he was so enlightened towards the end. Like he took a piece, and that is exactly, as I just said, my philosophy of life. I feel like all of us have a piece to the puzzle. And like we just need to get along with each other long enough for us to try to learn from each other.
Yeah. Do you feel like any of what was said in this book is truth?
I don't know. I don't even know if the real thing is truth either.
However, it was a fiction. Like it was just like what they thought Jesus would have done.
It
was very realistic.
It wouldn't now for me.
But the thing is, she did her research. Yeah, she did her research. So she not just. I mean, yes, she writes in things, but it's also studies that she did. So there is probably some truth to what's happening inside that book there.
Mm-hmm. Could be.
Chelsea, based on the list that you read, did you give it much credence in terms of this could really be what happened to Jesus?
Yeah, he was a child. He did what children did. Understand? The only difference was his quote unquote calling.
He didn't do what he actually, even in the book, the lady wrote that he said he was not thing to his peers, like he wasn't into the things their friends was into.
Yeah, but he was still fighting with his brothers and sisters. Like little things that will make him like.
I guess
Yeah. So, I don't know. When I was reading, I was like, a lot of this makes sense. Like a lot of not that it makes sense in terms of it's true. It's just like this could very well be what happened to this man between those years. And as Bernie was saying, when you look at all the religions, although they're very different, who the spirit of this, who the spirit of that, all of them essentially saying the same thing,
Yeah.
Them saying the same thing.
It's just the habits. That's the difference. They disagree on the habits of the person that should be, and it's like, oh, we all think the same way. Like, shut up.
Right. And even the storyline in terms of who came and just God and that God, and it's like all of them line up together. So and when you look at that and you listen to the story, I'm like, probably did go and line with this boy for real, and then learn some Buddhism and learn some Hinduism and learn some.
I don't remember. I didn't even keep up with so many all the religions, but like everybody, all of them had a name except for, like, I still think the girl at the end, not the girl at the end, the girl he met in the cave, the second person he had sex with, she was his teacher too, of something that is just unknown. I guess it was the pinnacle to everything. Like, that is, to me, that's what I felt like. So then from then on, he was teaching. Like, he was already teaching, but it's like almost he didn't have much to learn anymore after he left that girl.
And he didn't really find what it was he was looking for until he reached her. It's like,
in a way,
this is what it is.
Yeah, he was still
I need to teach the people. Well, what she was trying to show was that a lot of what we believe is from here.
Yeah.
Of what we believe, a lot of what we could be able to do, a lot of the things, a lot of God, a lot of good, evil, all them things is just from right here. And he was saying it there, and a lot of what Jesus does say in the Bible too, it does seem like he said, like, if you sit down and listen and you read it and you take it literally from what he's saying, it's like a lot of it is in your heart for real. And she was saying that in the book, and that's what the same thing the Bible does say too. He's just talking about inside there, everything in your heart, what is here essentially, and that's what she was saying in the book. And I was like, so I feel like, again, it's just me thinking about the book and what happened in his life. And he was a man too. He's a man. So of course, he probably did have urges. And I mean,
when you say man, you mean a human, yeah? Or a man? A male man?
Yeah, and human. Human also, he was man. Human.
Yeah, fast there's forgive the men, eh?
Yeah, so when she started talking about all the other parts, as Veronique mentioned, he had sex with 3 ladies?
Yeah, the first girl, the nun. The one that's sent to be a nun. The one in the cave, and his wife, Mary Magdalene. And
the thing is, like, if I'm sure if you ask your pastor now, they'll be like, no, Jesus wasn't married. No, Jesus didn't have sex. And he'll be like, how you know that?
Yeah, how you know for sure, And then there were always rumors about Mary Magdalene. I've heard that being his girlfriend or his wife or something. Now, the thing is, and I wanted to say, when I say the 4 years of the Bible, I mean in the 66 book one. There's a 72 book Bible and a 66. So I just wanted to make that distinction. I can't remember. I think in the 72 they do talk about other stories of Jesus. There's some one of him and his brother James. So that's the Catholic one. The Catholic is 72 and the normal one is 66.
Veronique, one thing you had said that this book will upset a lot of Christians.
Yes, I did say that the very first time they said he had sex. I was like, oh boy, Christians gonna get vexed.
I mean, I would expect that because the Bible doesn't record the full history from God's birth, from Jesus' birth to his death. You understand? It speaks of a very short time in his life, and that's why I say, why use something that is not incomplete, but it is incomplete to judge other people? And how you know for sure are we going to hell? Or if there is a heaven? You feel me?
My reason why, I feel like that timeline in the Bible is good, because if you really think about it, why would they need to record Jesus' life? Who is he? Had a baby? We don't know he's special. And like, it makes sense that, okay, so after, like, as soon as he died and everybody realized he really was the Messiah, they started writing things about him. If you think about it, the people who write the gospel and the books, the New Testament, was when they just met him, when he came home about age 30. He came home, and then like the 3 years. So obviously if you were with him the 3 years, you would be able to document it. And what you would do is go to the next set of people that knew him, like his mother or something, and ask them up stories about him that they could put on. Did you see any times of enlightenment of Jesus from a young age? And then they could say, well, he left when he was 12. So we don't know anything else. And the person with all the knowledge was him, and he died, and nobody knew anybody else that he knew. So it could make sense that way. But what I
It
found.
should. If
Go ahead.
sorry, no, I just agree with you. I was saying like it's true. If he really was around, they would have something there at least for when he was 10 or when he was 15. You know, when he was in high school or private school.
Yeah, so they probably
what he was
just
doing
have
at the time.
private
But he
school.
probably just Duarte for real.
Private cave. What was the school in the cave?
Private school in the cave.
I go to Cave High. How about you?
Bethlehem High.
Yes. Or Tombstone High. But what I say? Or maybe that could be the mascot, the Tombstone.
And
some of the things I thought was very interesting, like a lot of the known story was told a little differently. So like how he met like Mary Magdalene. I always heard that the rumors like that was his home and a thing, but he ended up getting married, because a lot of things Christians are always saying Jesus never got married. But in the book he got married to Mary. I'm assuming that girl is Mary Magdalene. Because of the name.
Yeah.
And and even at the end, like when he was up on the cross and whilst he was going to the cross and he was thinking about her and saying like he never gave her a child or anything, and then when he was up on the cross she came to it, and then that is in the Bible for true. She and Mary was at the foot of the cross the whole time, and she hold her belly, she rubbed her belly to show him like she pregnant. You caught that?
I know.
Yeah,
I remember there was a part when he said she was down there and she explained something, but I probably slipped out, and I was like,
but hurting. I feel like I sound too long. Continue.
Ooh. Yeah, I know I missed something there when he was reading that part. But okay, that's
and because he was like, could she be with child? Because he was saying like she like he wished he could have lived something for her, because when he saw her face when he first came out of the jail, when he was making his way up to the place to get crucified, he like when you see her face just full of sorrow, like just full of sorrow or whatever. I thought that was, and even the story of Judas, me and Hannah had a long conversation about this. That does sound very plausible, the way Judas gave him up. So in the Bible, we know they say Judas just sell him out for free silver coins, and then he killed himself afterwards. However many, I don't know.
He killed himself?
Yeah, he hung himself. Yeah, in the Bible. But what the book is saying is that because of James, his brother, Jesus and James were twins. They almost like twins. People were saying they look alike. So, and it was hearing about John the Baptist just going and get snatched up and killed and all kind of thing. And then people were coming after him. So he said he started weighing everything. He's like, you know what? Let me just give up myself, because I love these people so much. I don't want to get them killed. So let me just and then he made Judas orchestrate it for him. Tell Judas like, okay, so when the people come, go to the people, make a deal, I guess. Go to the people, make a deal, and when they come, just kiss me so they know it's me, and then they'll take me away or whatever. And before Jesus could tell them like it wasn't Judas, like they beat him and he knocked him out, and then they left him. So everybody assumed that it was Judas that he did it on purpose. Nobody would believe like he told me to do it, like So I thought that's very interesting. That is very plausible, and then
because the Bible doesn't really say
why
say much. It's just like if you'll betray me tonight, and it's like
and he does say no, I wouldn't, like it's weird, like okay, no, well.
No, I think what he said, I think he told him to go and do what he had to do.
Yeah. But in the Bible, it says, I think in the book, it left it out. In the Bible, he says, no, he wouldn't or whatever. But it makes sense. If you want to buff up a story, like, look at the liar. We already know you're going to go and tell. Look at you saying, no, you're not going to tell. We know you're telling already.
To me, it has some parts that saying someone would betray me tonight, and then something like
not in the book. I mean, in the
Bible. In the Bible.
Yeah, to me, he didn't say that in the book.
He did say that someone going to betray me by the crow of something. Somebody will
The morning,
betray me,
Peter.
whatever. And then Judas did say, no, not I. Or like they were going on the table saying not them or whatever.
Yeah, in the Bible.
If you're going to read in the Bible,
in the book,
but then when you see that portray in the book, if that was the case, then it would make sense. Then how it came about in the Bible, they left out some parts. If you understand what I mean, so the story is incomplete. If that is the case.
Oh, Chelsea.
Hi.
What did you think about it? So you got to where you say you got to where he was a teenager, right? So what do you think about it so far?
It was very interesting, and I will complete the book. You understand? It was very interesting and just like a different point of view. You know, you're so accustomed to seeing or hearing the same things over and over and over and over and over, but to really get a different view is refreshing, and also like teaches you to be open-minded. So I love the parts.
Such a diplomatic answer for like just generalize. Yeah, just keep an open mind and God.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Let me hear you read the book. Tell me.
For me, stars, I give it 5 based off all of the conversation that we had tonight and what I was able to gather from each of you beautiful people. I give it a 5. It's a very interesting book. You should go read it and let me know in the comments below.
All right, Veronique, what are your final thoughts?
I mean, it was dragging, so I'll give it. But the story was really, it was interesting. I was hating the fact that it was 11 hours because I was like, oh God, I have to try and find the time. I keep forgetting. I have to say 4.3 or so. Like, I don't know. Just because it dragged a little. I only read it because I say I have to listen to it anyway.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah. Me too. Same for me. Like the story. The idea of the story is good. Like it's a good concept.
Yes.
I could see. I could tell that it was whatever she thought of to write on paper was really good. It was difficult to listen to. It was difficult to listen to.
I think it was
Probably if you was reading it, it would have been different.
Or somebody ready for 40 minutes talk about she think it was okay.
It was really good. It was really good. I'm telling you. You should read it. You should.
Okay, my girl.
Yeah, but it was a good concept. It was a good story. Good idea. I think she wrote a really good story based on what we know from the Bible, and good job. I will give it like a 4, only because it was hard to listen to.
So it's my turn, and I determined to read Chichimanda's books, all of them. And I'm using y'all to do it. So since the ones that's on script, there's only 3. There's 3 of them I'm suggesting, and in all it's 2.5 hours. So that shouldn't take us the month, if that, but we'll still take the month. There's something on script called The Arrangements. It has something to do inspired by the 2016 election. We Should All Be Feminists, which is about 45 minutes. I think that's a speech of hers from something or whatever. And then there's a feminist manifesto in 15 suggestions. So these 3.
So each of us will take one. And
no, all 3. We read all 3
together. Okay.
Just 2.5 hours in all.
Okay. I feel. All right.
Yeah, it's not that long. One is 45, one is 30 minutes, another one is an hour or something like that. Yeah,
that's nice.
I want to hear secrets.
And then we could talk all about all 3 of them, and because it's like feminism, and I think it has something to do with Trump and so we'll see how it clashes. What do you say, Sir Simon?
You want to hear secrets? I listened to that book today.
Which book?
Like I listened to it in its entirety the first time. Like I started and then I stopped and then I started over and then I stopped and then I started over.
Which book?
The same book that we did.
Oh.
But that doesn't matter.
You listened to it more than once?
I started to listen to it more than once. Today was the day I listened to it out in total.
So you wasn't done with it yesterday?
No.
Okay. Wow, that's good because
I put it on 2 point something speed though. So I'm flying through. I was done in like 5 hours.
A minute and 45 seconds.
I should do that, maybe that's what I should do.
No, but this book in particular, he was reading so slow and so I was
that's what I should do
yeah.
Okay. All right, so that's it. So leave a comment. Let us know how you feel about the book. Did you like it? Did you read it? Blah, blah, blah. All right, so bye. Oh yeah. What's my thing? Something about God. What I say? I remember to keep your intentions pure. Bye.
Intentions pure and your heart clean.
Be good.
Don't forget.